Welcome everybody to episode 16 of Bases and Brews with Ben and Brandon. This is our weekly podcast where we talk about baseball and beer. We stream the show live on twitch.tv/bases and brews, no spaces, every Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Come give us a follow over there. Watch us live as we record, or if you can't catch us live, go check us out on YouTube. We post the episodes up on YouTube a day or two after we have them live usually, and they also go up on podcast services, Spotify, Google Podcast, Anchor, etc. Just search for Bases and Brews. Also, you can follow us on Twitter at Bases Brews to get some baseball news, some updates about the podcast or about us. And yeah, how is your week going, man?
Week has been boring. No,
Not always a bad thing, but sometimes that's a bad thing.
It's not all. It's usually a good thing, but it's been like 2 weeks in a row where it's just been like nothing going on. So it's starting to get to that point where I'm like, fuck, I just want something to do. Baseball has been absolutely nuts. So
baseball's been going crazy.
So it's been a good week overall. How you been?
I've been doing good. Very opposite at work, very busy at work. So it's one of those where I'm ready for a couple days off.
Yeah, mine will get real busy in like, I want to say like 2 weeks for sure.
Yeah. But
what you drinking tonight?
All right, I will start. So I randomly found this one when I went to the store today because I didn't forget. And I'm not sick. So for the first time in 3 weeks, I'm actually drinking beer.
Oh, nice.
So this is called, the glare. Evil Dankster IPA from Tups Brewery.
Huh.
It's an IPA and it's brewed with hop hash, which I don't know, but it's very hoppy, and I am very much liking it. And it's a cool can. It says like IPA here in this like gray, and it's got like zombie faces inside the letters. It's just a cool looking can. But
that's dope.
What about you?
So I've got another one of the Broken Skull IPAs, the ones from El Segundo. And then after I'm done with this, because I'm pretty close, I got another one of the How's It Punch. Okay. It's like what's this one? This one's a passion fruit orange. It's just kind of something that's a little bit lighter. It's kind of hot in my room, so I didn't want to drink too much, so it was too heavy.
Fair. It was like 98 today and humid here, so I was very much looking for a lighter kind of one of my dudes I work with was like, oh yeah, I really like this beer. And I got to the store and it was like a milk stout. And I'm like, no.
No, not on a hot day. Not on a hot day.
Right. But I pointed it out to you, but I'll show everybody. We went to a minor league game for the Round Rock Express, and we got these cups, and they have the logo, and then you can kind of see it. They have these like the baseball seams on the cup. It's really cool.
Again, I think those cups are sick.
They're really cool. And like, yeah, the drinks are expensive, but whatever. But yeah.
That is sweet. I need to get some cool cups. Like all I've got right now is my like 2014 World Series cup, which I love, but it's like the only drinking glass I have that's like anything baseball. Glass. Yeah, that's not just a regular glass. I want to get a couple of the mugs, like you have the wood ones, the like baseball bat ones.
Those are awesome.
I want to get like one or two of those.
Yeah. Those are awesome. The dugout mugs, not a sponsor, but if you ever want to be,
let us know.
Yeah.
I'll be ordering soon.
But yeah. All right, let's get into some hot and cold here.
Let's start with the cold this week. We usually start with the hot.
Okay.
Let's start with the cold, and we'll go with the Diamondbacks because they are still struggling. Still the worst team in baseball. They won. They did break. I think they did finally win a game though.
They weren't they on like a 20-game losing streak or something like that?
No, they were on a 23 road game losing streak.
Okay.
So basically, if they weren't playing at home, it was a guarantee they were going to lose for like almost 2 months. It was brutal to watch. But I think they finally won. I think it was on Sunday. They finally got a W, and then they started losing again. It was just they basically broke up the they broke up their losing streak and then went right back to losing.
Right, of course. But yeah, they had, it wasn't just they had a like actual losing streak too. I don't remember how many games it was. But
I don't think it was very long. I think it was like 11 or 10.
That's still a long.
Yeah, but when you're talking about a 23 road game losing streak, like
Fair.
10 or 11
I
isn't that bad.
Fair. But yeah, we'll continue to throw them on here. I want to keep whoever is the best team and whoever is the worst team on our hot and cold list. So until they prove otherwise, they are going to stay on this list every week.
Yeah, probably.
But speaking of that, though, we'll switch to the hot really quick. And your Giants overtook the Rays and now have the best record in baseball again.
Let's go. It's okay. I'm waiting for the House of Cards to come falling down. I hope I'm wrong, but like I'm just waiting for it because they have no right to be this good. Okay, so we play games. We both have played SnowRunner, a game that is so good that it just doesn't have any right to be that fun. The Giants are like the SnowRunner of baseball right now. They have no right to be as good as they are, but I'll take it.
I mean, you're not wrong. I don't disagree with anything you just said, but yeah, it's weird, but I'm all about it. That's why I love baseball, because I feel like any team can win any game. And like if you get hot at the right time, you can make a run.
Yeah,
you just gotta stay hot.
It's not even the All-Star break. Time? Yeah, right? Like I don't know if this is the right time to be hot.
Can they maintain it? Is the issue? Yeah.
But like I said, either way, I'll take it. They're on fire. I think it's the first time they've been 20 games over 500, or like 20 plus games over 500 in like the last decade.
Really? Even on their World Series runs?
Yeah, in a lot of their World Series runs, they came from the wild card.
That's right. I do remember that.
I think they won their division once in that like 6-year stretch.
Okay. Damn.
Yeah, I know. That's what makes it even crazier with what they did.
Now, to be fair, that was before they added the extra wild card team.
Yes.
I think on all their runs, there was just one wild card, so you were instantly in.
No, that is not true.
Their last one?
I think it was their last one. They had to play the Pirates in a playoff.
Okay.
In a one-game playoff. I think that was it.
That must have been like the first year of it then, because that hasn't been around very long.
I'm pretty sure it was in 2014 when they won that one against the Pirates. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. That sounds about right as far as when they added that. But yeah, so staying on the hot teams here, the Houston Astros, as much as I don't like them, they have won 11 games in a row, and they are raking. Like, they are just destroying the baseball right now. I think they put up like they wrecked the Tigers last night.
Has anybody checked to make sure that all of a sudden there aren't garbage cans in the alleyways? Just saying. Are we checking? We're checking people for sticky substances. Are we checking people for buzzers?
So they've put up, let's see, in the last 4 games they've put up 38 runs.
That's insane. That's actually nuts.
12, 13, only 3 runs on the game before that, and then 10 runs. And
Only.
then the 2 games before that were 8 and 7. Like, so if you want to go back to those ones, what did I say? 38. So 46, 50, 51 runs in the last 5 games, 6 games.
That's insane. Averaging like 10 runs a game, that's nuts. I don't care even if it's a short span, that's still bonkers.
Yeah, it's nuts. Ooh. They're destroying the ball right now. But
I hate the Astros.
I do too, but you can't the way they're playing right now, you can't leave them off this list as much as I wanted to.
No, and it's not so much I have anything against the Astros. I have something against the players, and a lot of the players aren't even there anymore. There's a few that are still left, but most everybody's gone.
The ones that are still there are the ones who were the biggest dicks about the.
Yeah, they are the ones that you kind of made you hate them more. Yeah.
Bregman, or actually Bregman's not there. I don't think.
I don't think so.
But yeah, but they're playing great. Alex Bregman plays.
Is he still? I think he's still playing for them.
I think it is. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, he's on the IL right now.
That's why. Yes. I just haven't seen him much.
Right. But yeah.
We can stop talking about them though. Screw the Astros. Yeah. On to some pitching stuff. We're gonna go with Aaron Nola. I thought this was nuts. I can't believe.
Yeah. Well, we actually just talked about this 2 weeks ago.
I was going to say, this sounds familiar.
Because the Indians pitcher has set the Indians record at 8.
Oh, yeah, and we were like, that seems like that
should
be
And we were like, huh. Yeah, we thought it should be more. And then we looked up this record, which was 10, which he holds by himself. He's the only one to ever do it. 10 in a row.
That's nuts.
Was Tom Seaver, and it was 51 years ago. Nobody struck out 10 in a row in 51 years. Or before that. I mean, he's the only one to do it. But yeah, so Aaron Nola for Philadelphia did it today, actually.
Yeah, it was earlier today, this morning.
Yeah, 10 strikeouts in a row in one game.
And it happened from like the first inning. I think he had 2 outs in the bottom. I think it was bottom of first. And that was when it started. Which is nuts.
Nice.
I mean,
yeah, I didn't read into it too much, but I just saw that it happened. Anytime you break a record, you're going to make our hot list.
Oh,
especially
for sure.
A record that's been there for 51 years.
Yeah,
it would have been
longer
cool if
than
you would have
we've
gotten
been alive.
One more. Right. Quite a bit. But yeah, that's cool. But yeah, I do agree with you still that it seems like that should be a higher number. Like just one time, I feel like that Kerry Wood game where he got
20,
what was it?
20 strikeouts.
Yeah. But it makes sense. It's
well, yeah, because if you get like 3 or 4 strikeouts and then someone gets a base hit, no, because that was a no hitter, right?
Yeah.
So then no, I think it was just a 20.
I don't think it was.
I think it was just a crazy pitching performance. I don't think he gave up any runs. I don't think it was a no hitter though. Because you imagine you get 3 or 4 strikeouts, someone gets a base hit, then you get another strikeout or 2. Maybe somebody gets a hit, you get a few more. So that actually makes sense.
Yeah, he did not have a no hitter.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
But yeah, still cool. I mean, if you really think 10 sounds like a small number, but if you really think about it, that's 3 innings plus another batter.
Yeah, it's
almost striking out that's a whole time through the order, and then an extra guy who struck out 2 times in a row.
Yeah,
that's a lot of strikeouts.
Yeah, I mean,
most 10 in a game.
When you look at it that way, it is.
Yeah, 10 in a game is a really good game. So
I know you kept putting the Biebs on the list every fucking time you got 10.
He's on the IL right now, so no need to worry about that for a while. That's so. Just to bring this up because it's kind of funny. the Indians starting rotation the last time through, none of the 5 guys made the team out of spring training. All our 5 starters are hurt right now.
Oh, that's
And we
brutal.
still and we have the youngest, our pitching staff on average is like 24
Whew.
right now, and they're still like pitching 6-7 innings every night. Like the Indians have like 11 to 12 major league pitchers.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. I don't know what it is about Cleveland, but they can draft pitchers as good as anybody in baseball.
Oh, someone that belongs on this hot list, and we haven't had him on our hot list officially like the entire season, and we've been showing this man so much disrespect, is Jacob deGrom.
We had him on.
I don't think he's
That one
officially been. We've talked about him, but I don't think he's officially made our hot list.
We put him on that one week where every single news article was about Jacob deGrom.
But this man,
Yeah.
his ERA is down to like 0.5
Yeah.
right
Yep.
now.
0.5 halfway through the season.
That's insane.
Like probably after one more start, they'll be over 80 games.
I think I saw a stat that said he could give up a home run to the next 12 batters in a row and still
And it
have
still
a
wouldn't be
lower
over one.
ERA than almost everybody in the league. That is insane to me.
Yeah. He's ridiculous. Yeah, so like
He's winning the Cy Young this year, provided he doesn't like massively
Yeah.
get hurt or something
yeah,
crazy
unless
doesn't
he's
happen.
done for the year, he'll win it. But yeah, he's one of those guys where like there's guys in some sports where you could put them on like for example, he could be the NL pitcher of the month every single month this year. But like you want to show some love to some other guys.
Yeah, but if they don't deserve it,
Well, but it's the same thing with like I don't know, like LeBron. Like LeBron could have won the MVP like 10 to 15 straight years. But it's like, all right, we know he's the best, but we're going to give some love to this guy or whatever. It's the same thing. Like he'll still win the Cy Young. I'm not debating that, but for his like that's why we don't have guys like him. Like Ohtani could probably be on our list every week.
probably.
You know, guys like that. Like they could be on the hot list every week, but you know, we gotta show some love to some other guys who are doing cool stuff.
You mean like we put Bieber on the list every week for like
Okay,
a
that
month
was
and a
different.
half?
He was breaking a record every week.
Breaking his own records doesn't count.
Yes, it does.
No, it
He
doesn't.
set a new record every week.
Okay.
And I'm an Indians fan. The Giants have been on our list for like 4 straight weeks.
They're the best team in baseball. You got to talk about the best team in baseball.
So Shane Bieber was the best pitcher in the American League.
Okay, fair, because DeGrom is in the National League.
I was gonna say baseball, and then I caught myself.
Yeah, I was going to say because he's not been better than DeGrom. He may have had more strikeouts early on, but he's not been better.
No. But
But on to more
but-
pitching
yeah.
stuff. We can keep going for the hot and cold. The Cubs, I think it was yesterday,
yeah,
threw a combined no-hitter. I kind of hate these, and I didn't watch the game, so I don't know why they pulled the starter.
I think his pitch count was very high.
Okay, which is weird for a no-hitter.
Well, yeah, I don't really know.
But it was, I believe it was a 3-man.
4.
It was a 4? Okay, it was a 4-man. I actually have it up because there was some interesting stuff that I saw on this. Let me take a peek. One, two. Yeah, it was a
It
4.
was Zach Davies, Ryan Tepera, Andrew Chafin, and Craig Kimbrell.
Yeah. So I looked at the numbers for no-hitters, and you know what I found was a pretty interesting stat? Is most teams have just as many no-hitters thrown as no-hitters thrown against them. which I found was interesting. I mean, they're not exactly the same, but they're fairly
Right.
close.
Within a few.
Yeah, like the Dodgers are number one. They've thrown 26 no-hitters, whereas the ones pitched against them, they've thrown 20. Like, that's pretty close.
Yeah.
You go to the second, or here, we'll go to my Giants, for instance. They've thrown 17, and they've had 16 thrown against them. They're top 5. Your Indians are actually, I think, top 8, with 14 thrown and 17 thrown against them.
Well, we have had 2 against us this year, so we are one of those teams.
Yeah, doesn't that hurt? But so are the Dodgers. I think they've had
in the wild card, even with 2.
But I don't know. I just was looking at some of the numbers, and it was an interesting correlation that I saw. Like, you had roughly the same number. There's a couple teams, like the Cubs, that have thrown 17, but only have like 7 thrown against them. But usually they're like within 5 or so of each other from ones that they've thrown and ones that are thrown against them.
I'm actually surprised by that one with the Cubs, because like the Cubs were really bad for a long time. I'm surprised their number is that lopsided that way and not the other way. But
the Cubs were bad because they didn't have a team. They always had a couple guys, though, I feel like.
Sorry. That's fair. But,
and all it takes for no hitters is to have, a couple decent, like 1 or 2 hitters, someone that gets on. We're getting there. We're getting there.
We did. I looked this up. So he threw 24 pitches. That's Zach Davies, the starter for this. Threw 24 pitches to the first 5 batters.
That's
Cody
cool.
Cody Bellinger had an 8-pitch at bat and walked. He walked 2 people in the first inning. So
okay.
There was a bunch of walks, I guess, but he threw 94 pitches in 6 innings, and then they pulled him, which seems low. But I also don't know, like, maybe he hasn't started a lot, or maybe there's a bunch of things that like make a team pull a guy after a certain amount of pitches.
Yeah, I just always hate to see a guy get pulled when he's got a no going. But I understand it in some cases, but I still hate to see it.
It honestly doesn't even look like he pitched that great. He walked 5 batters and only had 4 strikeouts in 6 innings.
So his defense really picked him up then.
Yeah. But yeah. It's an interesting one. And apparently, did you see the story?
Which one?
The bullpen guys didn't even know it was a no-hitter.
Oh, yeah, I saw that, but I didn't read like what was going on about that.
So basically, they interviewed the closer after the game, I believe. And he was like, yeah, I came in and like I got all the guys out, and then everybody started celebrating, and he's like, I didn't even know it was a no-hitter until that point. He's like, they didn't even talk to us about it out in the bullpen. Like, it wasn't even... Nobody said anything about it. So, like, unless they looked up at the scoreboard.
I wonder if, like, so is that just them not paying attention, or did they purposefully do that? That's what I'm wondering.
I assume somebody out there knew and didn't say it out of superstition. But...
Yeah, well, yeah, because when we'll get into stuff like that later, this shit that just doesn't make sense in baseball. That's one, but it's a little too cliche. That didn't cross my mind.
I'll add it and we'll mention it.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was cool. It's that's the 7th no-hitter, which ties the single season record for most no-hitters in a season. One of the other things I noticed that was really interesting, going back and looking at all the no-hitting, like the numbers, it's been a while since we've had a decent amount of no-hitters.
Yeah, so
like going back, I think 2018 had like 2 or 3. Oh. 2017 had 1. 2019 I think only had 3 or 4. I don't count 2020 because it was like a weird, like there was I think 1.
Yeah.
But like even when you look at full seasons, it's been like I want to say 7 or 8 years.
6 years. So I looked this up. Or I didn't look it up. The first article I looked at brought it up. So This is the fifth time there has been 7 no hitters in a season. Uh, the other 4 times were 90, 91. I want to say it was like 2011, and then the last one was 2015.
Okay, so it's been at
So
least
there
six
was,
years.
yeah.
Because
So
I
this
looked at
is
it and it was like
this is
1,
that one.
3, 2, and I'm like, okay, like that makes sense.
Yeah, but again, yeah. So this is tying the record for the most no hitters in a season, and we're not even halfway through the year. Like, I
Almost
mean,
guaranteed we're gonna get one more by the end of the year,
you
right?
would think. I mean, it's hard to. Yes, I would bet on breaking that record, almost guaranteed. But you never know with no hitters. Like, that's one of those things that you can't like predict. Like, it's one of those things where a lot of things have to go right in a game to get a no hitter.
Mm.
The interesting thing to me is that none of these no hitters have been perfect. There's no perfect games.
Well, then they'd be perfect.
Well, no, I know, but that would still count as a no. I mean, it's still a no hitter. It would
It's a
count in
perfect
that
game.
number.
Would it do
I
those?
understand. Yeah,
I thought.
it would count in that list.
I mean, I guess technically, but
It's still a no hitter.
no, that's an interesting way. So then it would be in a double stat.
Yeah,
It counts as a no hitter and a perfect game, which I guess
yeah.
makes sense. I just never
Yes,
really thought
okay.
about it, to be completely
I
honest.
actually did not realize this. The last perfect game was thrown 9 years ago by
No
Felix
way.
Hernandez, August 15th, 2012.
No.
Yeah,
It
I'm
couldn't have
looking at it right
been
now.
9 years ago.
That's what I'm looking at it right now.
Fuck. I don't feel like it's been that long. I feel like it's only been about maybe 4 years.
Nope. I'm literally looking at the list of perfect games right now.
That's
The
crazy.
last one, August 15th, 2012. Felix Hernandez threw the 23rd perfect game in history against the Tampa Bay Rays.
Well, at least it was King Felix.
Felix Hernandez was awesome when he was in his prime.
I fucking love. I liked him even when he wasn't fully in his prime. I just loved his swag.
Yeah.
But you know who my favorite pitcher is? One of my favorite pitchers all time, because my favorite pitcher is a Giants pitcher, but this guy is like number 2 on my list.
Okay.
Big Sexy.
Okay.
Don't laugh.
I hate you.
Bartolo
He was an
Colon.
Indian for like 10 years.
I
and
know.
I was like, okay, cool. Like he had a really good career as an Indian. He started his career here. And then like 20 years later he was still pitching.
Dude, he threw he almost threw a no in some like I like Dominican league or Mexican league that he's still pitching for at like age like 48 or some shit like that.
Dude, he's insane. He pitched for the Indians. I'm pretty sure he made his major league. Let me double check.
I don't know,
this.
but
I'm
when
pretty
he
sure
hit
made
his home run,
major league career in the year the Indians went to the World Series.
money, the day he hit his one and only home run.
Yep. Yeah, the year the Indians went to the World Series in '97 against the Marlins, that's when he was a rookie, and he was okay. 4-7 with a 5.65 ERA.
That's not so great.
Not great. But yeah, he pitched for the Indians.
But
for
he
like
wasn't Big
6
Sexy then. That's
years.
the problem.
No. But yeah, he pitched in. Wait, he hasn't pitched for 3 years. That's not.
Oh yeah,
right.
he's been retired from MLB for a while.
I swear it was like last year he hit the home run.
No, that was 2017. I think was
Man,
when he
it
hit his
does
home
not
run.
feel like that long ago. But,
It was like 4 years ago.
oh well.
Okay, so speaking of home runs, the last guy, and then we'll move on to a couple things for the news. Kyle Schwarber, 8 home runs and 15 RBIs in his last 5 games.
Yeah, 5 games, 15 RBIs, 8 home runs.
See, I'm more looking
That's
at the home
nuts.
runs. Someone test that man. Someone decided the sauce is what needs to happen.
That's insane.
That's
a
nuts.
ridiculous number of both of the like averaging 3 RBIs a game.
And almost 2 home
nuts.
runs a game. That's
Yeah.
insane.
It's crazy. That's an insane run. And it's honestly single-handedly, I think he pushed the Nationals up like 2 spots in the AL or NL East standings.
Which is funny because I always say in base, like of all the major sports, baseball is the hardest for one player to like actually impact the game.
Yeah.
As opposed to like basketball, obviously you have less players, so one player makes much more of a difference. But just the way
Yes.
the game
Of
is
course.
played, it's just different.
Yeah.
And I would say the same with football. Like you can have one playmaker, but that doesn't always necessarily like
Right. You need
do
people
anything.
around the guys,
Unless
but
depending on the position. But baseball more than any, I think, is the hardest for like one
yes.
individual player to like make
Well,
a significant
because
difference on your team.
right.
And it's
At,
incredible when a player actually does like that.
at most as a fielder, you're getting the ball hit to you 5 times a game. And as a batter, you're up 4 or 5 times a game. Like
On a
you
good
just don't
game.
have right. You just don't have a lot of time to make an impact. But yeah, he's killing it. But yeah, move on to a little bit of news this week.
All right, while you talk about this for a second, because I have no idea what's going on with this one, I'm going to go grab another drink real quick.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so this one that he was talking about is about the St. Louis Cardinals. They're calling it the youth field. Basically, they took a field from the old like Negro leagues and they renovated it. It was the St. Louis Stars were the name of the team, and they renovated it as both a historical site and for a college to use. And they like put in a bunch of seats and like they built a softball field for the college as well. So the baseball field and softball field are kind of almost back to back. Like one's whatever. You can I'll link the article if anybody wants to go check it out. I'll try to remember to do that in the YouTube. Okay, we both posted it.
I already had it copied because I just pulled it up.
But yeah, so the top picture is like a rendering of it. Like that's not an actual picture, but yeah. So it's for. Now I'm trying to find the name of the college.
Harris Stowe
Harris
State
Stowe.
University.
Yeah, it's in St. Louis, but small school, and yeah, I guess it's also going to be used for like little league, like youth baseball. Um, but yeah, really cool. Just we talked about this. I feel like this happened not long ago for another team.
The Blue Jays opened a field
Yes.
for Halliday. That was like an
Oh,
all-access
okay,
park. That was like
yeah.
for
Like an
the
inner city baseball field.
yeah, and it was like a accessible park for
Right.
everybody.
Like handicap.
Yeah, handicap and
accessible.
everything.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's what it was. But yeah, so this is a renovation of like a Negro League park from back in the day when that league existed.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess I was kind of like scrolling through the article. I didn't fully read everything, but it looked like they were already using this field for the college, but the Cardinals pitched in and like renovated it and added the softball field and like really like made it kind of a historical site to go like check out. And I think they put in like a little like not museum but like a little area that like commemorates the history of the place. So
Yeah, it's cool. I always love when you see cool stuff like that.
yes, I love when like teams or players give back to the communities that they're from,
Especially when there's history involved.
yes,
Like
yeah,
this
yeah,
with the Negro
absolutely.
League history, like this is cool because it's a talking point to pass that history on to future generations.
Yes. Right. Yeah, not only is it functional, but it also serves the purpose of like keeping the history alive basically.
Yeah, exactly. I love that concept.
Yes, I totally agree. But yeah, that was just a cool thing that popped up on my news feed, and I was like, oh, this would be a cool thing to mention.
All right, let's
and
get
then,
into
yeah,
this. Last week we said we weren't talking about the sticky stuff anymore, which we're not. We're just going to talk. I want to get your opinion on how the MLB is implementing their searches and stuff like what happened with Max Scherzer
So yeah,
the other day.
for anyone who didn't see this, go check out Jomboy Media on YouTube because he did a breakdown of it and it's hilarious.
Or we
But
should
they
just get John
basically,
Boy to sponsor us too. I think every video
I'll message him. I'll DM him on Twitter. I'm not afraid. But yeah, basically they searched him 3 times in like 4 innings or something. It's it was absolutely ridiculous. Like they came out and checked him and then like because he had something on his hat or no, he kept touching his hat and he's like, I'm sweating. Like I'm just touching my hat.
So the only problem I had with this, I don't care how many times they check him. I couldn't stand the fact that they checked him mid-inning.
Yeah.
And Joe Girardi, who called for the umpires, asked for it. And his reasoning was, well, I've never seen him, rub his head because I guess he was taking his hat off and rubbing his hair. And from what Scherzer said, he's like, I kind of needed the sweat. None of me was sweating, so I could mix that sweat with the rosin and get the natural sticky stuff, not the spider tack like they're using, which I'm okay with. Right. If it's natural and that's what you got to work with, I'm okay with that. But apparently that was what caused it. I have an issue with them going out mid-inning, though, because it breaks up a rhythm, and I think it was done on purpose to break a rhythm.
I mean...
I don't like that. Now, checking after the innings, and when, that I have no problem with. It takes literally, 5 seconds, 10 seconds. If you can't deal with that, then maybe you don't deserve the millions you're getting. Yeah... So the ump's rubbing his head was kind of funny. Like, what's he going to do? Put fucking sticky stuff in his hair so he can grab it off his hair? Like, to me, that was a bit much. But so I understand. Really I understand why he was frustrated. Because you can't fuck a pitcher's rhythm up, especially when they get in it. And he's kind of an old school guy. Yeah. Scherzer is. So he doesn't like when people mess with him when he's especially got it going.
Did you see what the Nationals did later to kind of just joke, make fun of this situation?
No.
Bryce Harper hit a home run, and they were like, "You want to check his gloves for some sticky stuff?" Or
yeah, right.
They were just joking around. Nobody was super upset about it. Even Max Scherzer wasn't that mad about it. He had fun he was upset about it, but he had fun with it after the fact.
So I have two things. One, who was upset, visibly, is the A's relief pitcher Sergio Romo, former Giant turned.
I feel like that dude's always upset.
Bro, they checked him and he almost pulled his pants down. He undid his belt, was making a huge thing, and I'm like, bro, calm down. It's not even that big of a deal. Everyone's getting checked. Although the knuckleballer for the Orioles getting checked, I thought was fucking just the epitome of how stupid Major League Baseball actually is.
You do not sticky stuff makes and throwing a knuckleball impossible.
He was basically if the ball moves, I'm not doing my job, right?
Yeah, you're looking for spin rate, not lack of a spin rate. That was funny.
Oh God, what was the other thing I was gonna go there with something else though that I thought was pretty funny. Because the Sergio Romo thing I thought was comical because I'm like, bro, just calm down. Everyone's getting checked. It's not like they specifically think you're cheating and you're the only one getting checked. Because what have you done lately? No one's thinking you're specifically cheating.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just baseball went too far the other way. They just need to find this middle ground.
See, I don't mind the checks. Like I said, the checks after inning when they're walking off, it takes you 5-10 seconds. Big fucking deal. If you can't deal with that, grow up. I'm sorry, you're getting paid tons of money. Deal with it.
That's fine. It's like you said, in innings, and the umpire has to stop play, walk out there. Baseball is so worried about pace of play, and then they do stuff like this, and it's you guys realize this is the opposite.
Yeah.
You guys are really kind of not understanding what people want to see here.
Yeah, like I'm okay if they want to check them after every inning. I don't care.
Yeah,
But
that's
like just
fine.
don't stop play to check them. Cuz if they're cheating,
Yeah,
you're going to find out at the end of the inning and you can figure out what's going to happen from there.
yeah,
But yeah, that to me, like, that was the only place where I would draw the line with it. I think it's okay as long as you don't like go mid inning and if a coach asks for it specifically, like, hey, I think he's doing, like, there should be some kind of penalty for being wrong.
yeah. I don't
Because
know.
it's kind of like
I don't know
challenging a
what
play.
the
Like in football, if you're wrong, you lose a timeout.
yeah. I don't know what the solution is,
I don't
but
either. That's the only thing that bothers me.
the way they're doing it now is not the solution.
So I don't think checking before an inning is good. I like checking after an inning because there's only so much time you got to, get a couple pitches in before
Yeah.
the thing happens. I think it's
The
got to be after the inning's
I
over.
think the only issue with after is if you do find something, then it's like, well, you just cheated against us for that inning,
Well,
got away with it.
but at the same time, if your team is caught cheating, you forfeit the game. Period. That's how I would look
Not,
at it.
but that I mean, that's not what happens. That player gets ejected. Like they've caught players with sticky stuff, and they just eject them, and the game keeps going.
But with the new thing, like I don't know, I feel like you almost
You
got to be
can't
like,
forfeit a game.
well, if your pitchers are willing to risk it,
I think
I
that's
would
too
be
excessive.
I would be fully in support of that.
The Players Association will never ever accept that. It'll never happen. I mean, I don't really care, but yeah, it won't. That's never gonna happen. Where one player can make a team forfeit, but I
Yeah.
don't know. But
Like
yeah,
I don't know,
like
like
you're
I don't have a solution for all this. I just think it's
right.
funny watching MLB flail trying to figure this
Yeah,
out.
all that's what MLB does best is mess up every possible situation that they can.
Well, I mean, we've been saying this since what episode literally 1 of this podcast
Yeah,
several months
it.
ago.
I honestly feel like it's time for a change at the top for baseball, but we can get into that some other time. That's a bigger conversation than we want to do right now.
Uh,
Um, but
but
yeah, all
all
right.
right, into our big topic for the week. Things that literally make no fucking sense in baseball. And we didn't do a top like 5. We just kind of listed a few. We'll talk about a few of the ones that we've gone over. You want to go ahead and start? We can start with one of yours.
Yeah, I can do that. Let's see, which one do we want to start with here? I guess I'll we can start with the one we kind of mentioned earlier where you don't talk about a no-hitter or a perfect game. And even to expand on that more is just how superstitious baseball players are. Now, you mentioned that, but I am one of those people.
I am too. When I played, I was. Now that I watch it, I'm
Right.
like, why?
Yes.
It literally
Yeah,
makes no
yeah.
sense. But for some
Agreed.
reason, when you're playing, it makes all the difference in the world.
Oh yeah. Yep. I was absolutely one of those people who like I'm wearing the same thing every week in if I am playing good. And if I'm not, then I'm changing it up. I'm wearing the high socks and different hat or whatever. I'm wearing Under Armour under my jersey this week because I didn't have a good week last week. Like that was me.
I don't know if I was that bad, but I definitely was very religious when it came to like the way I did things.
Yeah.
If
I
I did
wasn't
something a certain way and it worked, I didn't deviate ever until it didn't
yeah.
work. Then when it didn't work, I found a new way that worked, and then I stuck with that until it didn't work.
Right. I had guys on that I've played with over the years that are like way past where I am. They're like guys like that were like I had a guy who wouldn't wash his jersey until he had a game where he didn't have a hit.
No.
And like, no joke, like you could see like the white sweat stain on the back of his jersey, and I'm like, that's gross. Like that's not even like a superstition thing. That's just disgusting.
Yeah, that's just unhygienic. Like,
Right.
go fucking clean your shit.
But I don't know. Maybe I didn't really play any other sports. Like I played football for like a year or two. I played basketball for like 2 or 3 years, but like I
played-
never experienced that level of superstition anywhere but baseball.
Basketball was, I would say, not too far off,
Okay.
but nothing remotely like as nuts as baseball.
Yeah.
Like, not even close. Like, basketball was probably what I played was the close second. But
Okay.
when I say close, I mean like that's pretty loose, because we would do stuff like, I know guys that would wear the same socks for basketball. I know guys that would always wear like the same shoes. They could literally be falling apart, but that was the shoes they won in. That was the shoes they jumped in. Like some basic stuff. But playing football, I didn't really see it like at all, really.
Yeah, I never really.
But I also wasn't like, I was a quarterback, so I don't know. We just never really had any superstitions. I think our kickers did, but that was about it.
Yeah, I feel like I've heard kickers are very superstitious, but
I mean, like,
who
we had
knows?
ways that we prepared, which, like, kind of like baseball, like, you find something that works and you just kind of stick with it. But other than that, there wasn't really any, like, really weird things that we had. Other than, like, the school I went to had, like, a rock that was, like, a memorial for somebody that had passed, like, way before I went to the school.
Yeah.
And everyone, like, made sure they touched the rock before they went out to the field.
Okay, I got you.
Like, so, like, there were some stuff
Yeah,
like that, but, like,
we had stuff like that when I played football, where like, yeah, we had like a sign that said like, what did it say? It was something like, I don't know, go Hilton, whatever.
yeah, and
you
there's,
know.
like, the
And,
slap it on your
as
way
you
out.
walk under, like everybody hits it.
Yeah, but other than that, there wasn't much in football. Like I said, basketball had a little bit more, but nothing like baseball. Baseball, there people are super superstitious.
Now, with that said, like I don't do any of the crazy stuff, but like for no hitter, perfect game, I don't mention it. Don't say the word. You can talk about it, but don't say the word no hitter or perfect game.
So the way I look at it is, if I was in the dugout with the person, I probably wouldn't say anything, just out of respect, because that's what other people expect. But like, I'm sitting there watching the game. Like, do you see this no happening right now? And it's like the third inning. Like, I'm like, I don't care. I'll call that shit out. But I do agree, when I was playing, just because that's what was expected. It's those unwritten rules of baseball. You just don't do it. Whether you agree with it or not, you just don't do it.
Yeah.
So
there's unwritten rules of baseball, and then there's like the superstitious unwritten rules.
Yeah.
Baseball.
You're right. And for that reason, I never really did when I played. But like, I've been at games where I'm watching, even live, and I'm like, do you see this? Like, even at like high school games, I'm like, you see this fucking no going on right here? Like, and we're talking about like, but out of respect, in game, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But I'm, like I said, when I played, I was pretty superstitious. And it's just something you do when you play that you don't do when you're not playing.
Yeah. I'm told that to get another beer sent to me, I have to say, Jen, can you beer me?
Beer me, woman!
Beer me. But yeah, no, I agree. Superstition is, I am a believer in it, but I'm also not. Like, I don't do it, but I don't believe in it at the same time. It doesn't make any sense.
You mean you do it, but you don't believe in it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too.
Like, I don't believe in it at all, but also at the same time, I'm like, why risk it?
Yeah. Like, but what if it does matter?
What if I'm the reason that it ends? Or like, here's the one that I do still, is if I am watching a game, I got a beer brought to me.
Yeah, buddy.
If like Okay, so say the Indians are doing really good, and I'm like, man, I want to watch this game, and then they stop doing good. I'm like, nope, turn it off.
I do the same shit. I do the same shit. Or if like I'm not watching and they're sucking, and all of a sudden I flip the game on and they're like getting a hit or two, I'm like, okay, maybe I'll watch the rest of the game.
Right.
No, but I do the same
exactly.
thing. Like if I turn a game on and all of a sudden they just start sucking, I'm like, okay, maybe it's just time to, turn the game back off and look at the highlights when the game's over.
Yep, exactly. But all right, let's get into one of yours.
All right. So the one that we'll start with hitting players is retaliation.
Okay.
As a pitcher, I've never really understood hitting a player because they pimped a home run or because you just didn't like the way they looked at something last inning or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I've never
don't-
give them a base. You put a runner on
Right.
base. You
You're
like
actively hurting your team.
yeah, like I've never understood that.
Yeah.
Like I
Totally.
understand one of the things that you're going to get to in a minute. Like I understand doing that, but like actually hitting a player, I'm like, bro, you just gave them a base. You just put a runner on. If you're up, you just gave them one more chance for someone to get around the base.
Right.
I've never understood that. It makes no sense to me when you think about it logically.
Same. And not only that, not only is it like illogical because you're hurting your team, you're putting a guy on base, it's also dumb because then you're going to get one of your own players hit.
It can become
like,
a vicious cycle. You're right.
Right. So it's like, not only am I not accomplishing anything really, but I'm also potentially going to get one of my own teammates hurt because they're going to throw at my guy. And it's like, it's just dumb. It makes absolutely no sense.
It's part of the reason why I don't like the DH. Because a pitcher can throw at somebody and know that they never have to step in the box themselves. Which I think is even more cowardice than I think an American League pitcher throwing at somebody is more of a coward than a National League pitcher throwing at somebody. Because they're eventually going to be up.
I will say this. I feel like it happens less in the American League, though.
It probably... You're probably right.
I don't... Like, I see it, but I feel like every time I hear about the... hear about like a pitcher throwing at a guy, it's almost always a National League team.
Which is, you're honestly, like I said, you're honestly probably right. I don't know for sure. I don't know what the breakdown is on it.
Right.
But
Yeah, I'd have to look.
I don't even know if they keep. I'm sure somewhere has those stats.
Somebody has to keep it. Although then it's like what's intentional and what's not,
Yeah, that's true. But to me, that's always been the thing that one of the things from a actual gameplay standpoint that's never made sense to me.
Yeah, I completely agree with that one, and that's again one of the unwritten rules that's just dumb and outdated and should go away.
All right.
Okay, so spinning off of that, we'll go into the throwing up and in, which, okay, I understand as a pitcher throwing up and in, but at the same time, as a hitter, like, okay, I'm not saying throw up and in to intimidate someone. I'm talking about, or like, as a retaliation thing to say you're mad. When I say throw up and in, I'm talking about like when you hear guys go, oh yeah, he threw up and in to get him to back off the plate. No hitter has ever gone farther away from the plate because you threw up and in.
So
you go up and you do the exact same thing, put your bat on the plate and get the same distance away. And I understand, again, as like throw up and in to throw like a curveball down and away, like set up the next pitch. But when announcers say like, oh yeah, he brushed him back off the plate, like, no, he didn't. He didn't do anything.
So at the professional level, I think that happens a lot less, but I think it does happen. I don't think it happens much, but I do think it
You
happens.
think guys step, an
Bro, if
inch or
someone
two
throws
farther back?
101 by your face, I think you're going to maybe be like, okay, maybe I need to back up just a touch. Most people wouldn't, but I think every once in a while you're going to get a pro player that's like, okay, maybe I need to distance myself from this crazy ass motherfucker. Like,
Now,
you know what I mean?
I guess maybe the difference here is, okay, so when I played, my like going up to the plate, my routine was I'd, reach across, tap the opposite side of the plate to make sure I could reach, the outside corner, and then I'd go up into my batting stance. Every pitch, not even just like every at bat. So like I knew I was standing in exactly the same spot for every single pitch.
And I would say there's a good portion of people that are like that. Like, I never moved. It didn't matter. If you want to hit me, hit me. Fuck it. I don't care. I'll take my base and then I'll run circles around you. I loved running bases personally.
Base running was fun.
So
Back when I was in shape.
Yeah, I was an offensive guy. I was never a big guy, so I was never really a home run hitter. So I literally thrived being on the bases and fucking with pitchers and all that stuff. Me and one of my friends was a pitcher, and we literally, in his backyard, would work on my leadoffs, my jumps, as well as his pickoffs and everything. It was something that I very much worked on, so I loved being on the bases. So I didn't move because I'm like, fuck it, you want to put me on base, that's where I'm going to have the most fun. Like, go ahead. But I think at a high school and down, even maybe a college level, you're going to see a good portion of those people back up, even if it's just a step or a quarter of a step, because especially if you got a good pitcher that throws hard. Like, I've watched it coaching JV and watching one of our varsity guys throw mid-90s in high school.
Yeah.
And watching kids literally go, like, see that pitch come at them and get scared. I don't think it happens as much at a professional level, but I think it does occasionally.
Fair enough. I guess maybe that was just my own personal one where, like, I was always like, people would throw up and in, and I'm like, go ahead, like, throw a ball on. It's the same as the hit by pitch to an extent. It's like, throw up and in. Like, you're putting yourself behind in the count, immediately. But see, I'm like, I don't care.
See, I'm okay with it, though, because you're not, like, throwing up and in at somebody once or twice is not the end of an at-bat, whereas hitting somebody is.
Yes.
That's why when I said, like, I don't mind this as much, like, if you want to tell someone, like, hey, I'm mad at what you did, and you want to throw up and in, and you want to, chin check them or whatever, I'm okay with that as long as you're really careful, because all the people that have been getting hit in the face this year has been kind of disgusting. Like, it's ugly when you see it at a professional level. Ever. I'm not okay with that.
Especially the way, guys are, the average pitcher's throwing like 94.
Yeah, it's ugly.
Like, you can't do that.
And honestly, I'll be honest, it's probably more an antiquated way of thinking, because, like, I don't want to see people get hurt. But, like, I understand it, and I'd much rather a pitcher throw up and in and be like, hey, I don't like what you did, than hit somebody.
Yeah. I really quick, just because this kind of goes in on the last two we've been talking about. So I think we just go to this one really quick. Okay, so that's guys getting mad about other players celebrating, which I even wrote in here, see Madison Bumgarner.
Every time we talk about this is the first person you bring up. Someone does not like Madison Bumgarner. I'm just saying.
I actually kind of like Madison Bumgarner, but you can't deny if you bring this up, he's the player
of the modern era. I would say, especially as a Giants fan, because I watched him get mad at everybody.
Even as a non-Giants fan, he's the one who does it more than any. He hates fun in baseball.
He doesn't hate fun. Really I legitimately think he takes it as a sign of disrespect. He's not taking it as you're enjoying a success. He's taking it as like you're taking a shot at him personally. And it's not that way, but I feel like that's how he takes it.
Nobody's doing that. I feel like people do it now because they know how pissed he is.
Well, I mean, you're probably not wrong on that one. You're probably not wrong.
So yeah, it's basically like, a guy hits a home run and does a bat flip and the pitcher gets mad. And it's like, don't give up a home run next time. Like, Baseball needs fun more than anything else, more than a, timer on pitches or, watching the clock. Baseball needs to be fun. And when people get mad about people celebrating things that they accomplish in sports, it's so stupid, because especially as like a pitcher against a batter or vice versa, because like some pitchers, when they get a big strikeout, like they get pumped,
Yeah,
and the batters get mad.
Trevor
And it's
Bauer
like,
with his sheath.
yeah, like there's a dude on the Indians he shares our closer duty, James Karinchak. He's pretty good, but like when he gets a big strikeout, like he like yells and like does the like, ah! And it's like I get it, like cool, you did something really good, celebrate it. But then batters get mad, and it's like, well, don't strike out.
Well, see, I find that batters don't get nearly as mad
No,
about a pitcher
it's usually
celebrating
pitchers.
as much as pitchers do
Yes.
hitters celebrating, which I don't get it. If you can, do your whatever signs after you're done, why can't a pitcher look or a batter look at his ball for a little bit, or do whatever?
I totally agree. And yeah, same thing. I said it a minute ago. It's like, if you don't want people to celebrate, then stop letting them get hits or home runs or whatever.
Unfortunately, that's easier said than done.
Oh, of course, but like you can't get mad at somebody for getting a hit if you gave it up. Like,
no, you're not. You're not wrong. I don't think you're wrong.
It was actually just last night. The Eddie Rosario, who plays for the Indians now, he was a Twin for his whole career until this year, and we're playing the Twins, and he got a huge RBI single, like basically won the game. And he hit it. He like jogged to first and did like flipped his bat as he was running to first. And the Twins like talked about it in the post game, and it's like the dude just got a 2 RBI single and basically won the game in the 9th inning. And it's like, just freaking deal with it. Like, it's not a big deal. Let people have fun while they're playing a sport for a living. Like, it's fine.
Yeah, I feel that.
But
it's one thing I've never like. I get it, but at the same time, like I don't, because it's like, man, you got to have some fun.
Yeah, I agree. It's baseball is like we've both said it. We both totally understand baseball is a boring ass sport to watch. Like if you're not like a diehard baseball fan, I understand why people don't like baseball. And for people to get mad about people having fun in baseball is the stupidest thing ever. It doesn't make sense, but anyway.
Yeah. Okay. So on to one that it's something that's baffled me for a long time, but even when I coached, I did this, is coaches wearing uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
The Major League Baseball managers and coaches in general, it's the only major sport where the coach actually wears the same uniform as the players. It doesn't make any fucking sense. I don't get it. Why? Why can't they dress in a decent suit? Why can't they wear, like some track stuff like they do in football? I don't get it. I mean, I get maybe for like the base coaches because you're on the field, but even then I don't fully understand it.
Yeah. I think so. There are some managers who don't wear a jersey.
I don't really.
Yeah. So for the Indians, Terry Francona does not wear a jersey.
So what does he wear?
He wears like a windbreaker.
Well, then how do you know he's not wearing a jersey under the windbreaker?
How do you know he is? No, he said that he doesn't. He doesn't wear a jersey like 90% of the time. He's come out and said it. He's supposed to, I think. But
like it's just one of those things that doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, it's kind of it's really the only sport that happens too.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
It's not because like most things with baseball, even the superstitious stuff and all that, like I can understand even if I don't agree with, but like the managers and stuff wearing the uniform in baseball, I literally just don't even get. Like, I don't even understand why that's a thing. I don't think it'll ever change. I just don't really get it.
Yeah, I don't. I know, like back in the day, managers used to wear like a suit, which seems awful for baseball because baseball takes place in the middle of summer.
Yeah, I could see more like a tracksuit type deal, kind of like what you see in football.
And I don't like the thing that bothers me more than the like wear a jersey, cool, no issue with that, but they wear baseball pants, which makes no fucking sense.
And they wear cleats. Well, they don't wear cleats, but they wear the like.
Because like
what are they called?
Athletic shoes, athletic tennis shoes. Well, like baseball pants are not comfortable at all.
Really, I don't find them super uncomfortable. When I coached, I didn't find them uncomfortable.
Really?
Other than just being a fat ass and not fitting in baseball pants anymore. Like they didn't actually feel that bad.
I don't know. I never liked baseball pants, but no, it's just like just wear like some athletic pants, like some
sweats or like
exactly.
Come on, Adidas, Nike, they're all out there. Just get some decent like joggers or something with a nice windbreaker and like I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense at all. And I honestly wonder if it stems from like player coaches back in the day when that was like a common thing.
It might. I kind of looked it up and I couldn't really find anything on it, but that would actually make sense.
Right. But
because you had to be ready to play as a player.
That's just a guess. I have no idea if that's factually correct. That's just the only thing I could possibly think of that would make any sense at all.
No, but like I said, that actually would make sense.
Right. But, all right. So getting to my last one here. Changing out a baseball anytime it touches anything that it isn't the pitcher's or catcher's glove. Okay. When I was in, through college even, because like when I played in college, it was a small school. Like we weren't like a D1, we were like a D3 college or something. Like very small school. I think our campus had like 2,000 people on it.
Okay.
If that.
So was it like a junior college or was it an actual?
No,
like,
it was a
university?
college. Yeah, it was a 4-year college. They had doctorates and stuff. But
holy shit, we have literally junior colleges bigger than that here.
It was a very small school. I made a huge mistake going there. That's that's a whole other.
That's a story for another day.
Right. But no, it was, it just like, even then we didn't do that. Like we had like in high school and little league, you have like 3 baseballs in play and whichever one's the least dirty is the one on the umpire gives to the pitcher.
You're not wrong.
And if you lost them all, if they got hit in the woods or whatever, then you went and grabbed one out of the warm-up bag that was the least crappy. But yeah, in college they had maybe 10 for us.
That's crazy.
Like I know in like
we had more
big
than that.
colleges, it's a lot like major leagues where it's they're basically changing it up, but it just doesn't make sense that little league kids can deal with having a little dirt on the ball and every time a pitch or a ball touches the ground, it has to be changed out.
Okay.
It's
why I find this really interesting is because they get rid of them because they scuff the balls and whatnot.
Yeah.
But those scuffs give the ball more texture, which gives a pitcher potentially better grip on the ball.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Why would you want that?
Have you ever seen what they do to Major League Baseballs?
Yes, I've watched literally a 15 or 20 minute documentary on how they prep the balls and then they put them in like the humidors and like in some
and then they rub them with dirt.
Yeah,
like a special nuts. Like clay. They have like a set amount goes on each ball. Like
the
every
problem,
ball's identical.
from what I understand though, is that clay dries out and becomes like a
Yes.
powder, which almost makes the ball slicker than it was
Yeah.
before. Which is
Yes.
why they need all these
100%.
sticky substances to get a hold of the ball. So my thing is why go through all that work if it just makes the ball worse?
I don't know, because it's baseball and it's the way they've been doing it for years.
But you know what I mean though? Like
No,
if it
I
makes the
totally
ball
agree.
kind of shitty to handle, then why do it? Why not try and adopt a different like system for breaking in the balls?
Who knows? But yeah, it's kind of cool. They prep like 150 baseballs a game or something
Well,
like
I
that,
mean,
200 a game.
like you said,
It's a
literally.
huge number because yeah, anytime a ball is touched by a bat or the ground, it goes out of play, and you can't use it anymore. So it's
Which I think is a
very
bit excessive, but
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean I get it, but I don't at the same time. But that was a good one. That's probably one of the better ones.
It's one that's never made sense to me because as you know, through my whole baseball career, that's just never been the case. And I've never like I was a pitcher
And
and
it wasn't that much of an issue.
I never cared about that.
Yeah. Well, maybe you just needed to get better.
I was good. That's why I never cared. I never made sense to me like watching Major League Baseball. It never made sense to me why it needed to happen because I never had an issue.
All right, so let's move on to my last one. And this one has never really made sense to me, but I know at some point it might make sense. But it's when a catcher drops a strike three, whether you swing or not, you're not technically out. You have to either be
Yeah.
tagged or the ball has to be thrown to first to get you out. That literally makes no sense. If a catcher drops strike two, it's still strike two. If a catcher drops
Yeah.
strike one, it's still strike one. So
Well,
why is strike three
okay,
so different
hold
all
on.
of a sudden?
It is still strike three, to be clear.
Well, yeah, and it still counts as a strikeout technically, but
Yes.
you can be safe.
I don't
That actually makes it
I
even
don't
worse.
yeah. I don't necessarily disagree with you. I'm just
Like
pointing it out to be clear.
no, yeah, like this is like one of the most convoluted like things in all of baseball, in my opinion, because you
Honestly,
even on your like record, you're counted as a strikeout, whether you get on base or not. So your strikeout and your batting average goes down, but your on base percentage goes up because you technically got to first if you are there safe.
right.
Which
Yeah,
to me is like how does like, that does not
Trust me.
compute?
As a pitcher, it's the most frustrating thing when it's not your fault. Like you throw like a decent pitch and the catcher just misses it. This was mostly high school,
Well,
obviously,
yeah.
but or little league. Like you throw a decent pitch and the catcher just misses it and it goes to the backstop and the guy gets on first and it's like, God damn it! Like
You're like I
I got
struck
that
him
guy
out.
out.
But like this to me is like the all-time like doesn't make any sense. Of all
You're
the
not
things in
wrong.
baseball, like I'm like if he's struck out, he struck out. He's out.
Yeah. As someone who's explained baseball to a lot of people, like that is one of the ones that pretty much no one understands and everybody has to ask about is like, wait, why is he not out? And it's
Yeah.
like, well, there's this thing, this
Well, there's a
weird
rule, but why? Like I don't know. Your guess is as good as
Don't
mine,
ask
but it
me.
is the rule. It's one of the only things that I can't explain. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I yeah, I don't know. It's really frustrating. Like it's just very weird the way that it happens too cuz yeah, like you said it doesn't happen any other time except for strike 3 and I don't know.
Like, could you imagine if every strike that was dropped was not a strike? Oh, that could lead for some interesting games.
Yeah. I was kind of looking it up here. And
I'm sure there's some obscure reason that makes no sense.
it seems like it's been there since the beginning of baseball.
Like someone just thought that this was a good idea and just like it's just always been that way.
There's a good joke from Justin Verlander, who I
Oh,
kind of hate, but
you
it's
just
still
hate because of who
funny.
he played for.
Yeah. Well, he pitched against the Indians for years on the Tigers, and he freaking killed us every year.
Sounds like a you
But
problem. I like Justin Verlander.
but no, he said if you can make a pitch that's so bad the catcher can't catch it, but you swung at it, you probably shouldn't get to go to first base.
That's
I was like, that's all right. That's pretty good.
that's pretty true. I'm with that. I'm behind that statement completely. That's funny, but that's my ultimate like doesn't make sense thing for baseball.
Yeah,
I'm honestly surprised you didn't. That wasn't one of yours that you were thinking about.
I didn't honestly even think about it until you said it, and then I was like, yeah, that is a dumb one. Yeah. So the reason we even did this topic is because I went to a minor league game last week, and I saw a guy threw up and in on purpose, and that's what made me think of it when I messaged you and was like, "Hey, we should do this as a topic."
Yeah.
So that was that was the one that made me think of it. But
I might go to a game this weekend. I don't know. I gotta call a buddy and see if he's available.
the Giants game.
Yeah. I might go to a Giants A's game this weekend. They're playing the A's today, tomorrow, and
Oh, right.
Sunday.
Nice.
Speaking of which, it's ooh. I need to turn the game off. Maybe I need to watch it. I don't know. It's top third, 2 outs, bases loaded. A's are batting. Not a good look for the Giants right now. But Johnny Cueto hasn't like. Oh, yep,
He
you
had
got
a
him to
really
pop out.
good game his last outing.
He's been
if I
really up
remember
and
correctly.
down. Like he had a really good start to the season, then he got hurt, and then he's kind of been up and down ever since. I mean, he's only given up 2 hits, so I wonder. I don't know. I have it on my extra, just kind of keeping an eye on it.
Yeah.
Anything else you can think of to throw in with the that makes no sense?
I was trying to think of any more, but off the top of my head, I can't. I was trying to look up a list too, and there isn't really a list of anything like
Nobody's
this online.
really like written anything about like the weird oddities of baseball.
Yeah, there's like weird things that happen in baseball, like live in a game.
Yeah.
Like I saw like a list of like the top 25 like weird things that happened in a game, but like none of them were anything like this.
Yeah. So the only other thing that I actually saw that maybe I guess you could say is an honorable mention was, did you know if you catch a ball with your hat, it's a 3 base for the extra?
I saw that.
Bro, I'm like,
Wait,
what? Okay, so
yeah.
let me see if I can find the exact rule and how it's worded. I think I had it kept because I wanted to put this as an honorable mention because I was just like dumbfounded when I saw this. Hold on. I think it's on this one. This is the craziest rule I think I've ever seen. And this is technically a rule, and I don't think I've ever seen it actually applied. Nope, that's catcher. Oh, fuck, what rule is it? Hold on.
Apparently, hold on, before you get into it, I have this pulled up now. I found it.
Okay.
But you also, it's the same rule as you can't throw your glove at the ball.
Well, yeah. Which I think is dumb. If you can stop the ball, you can stop the ball. Fuck it.
No, that's a whole different.
What?
Like, you can't do that.
What do you mean
You can't throw your glove at the ball?
Bro, if you can stop the ball and make a play, stop the ball and make a play. If
you can't reach the ball, you can't reach the ball.
If you're so slow, I
glove.
can throw my glove at the ball, just stop it, and get to it, and throw you out before you get to the base. You don't deserve to be on the base.
No. It's not about stopping them from getting to first. It's about stopping the play from progressing past that.
Yeah, that sounds like a personal problem. If I can stop you from to me that's another one that makes it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Anyway, so I have the rule pulled up.
Okay, yeah, pull it up. Go ahead.
The hitter, so if you affect the ball with your uniform, which means catching the ball with your hat, throwing your hat or glove or whatever at it, the hitter and all base runners on base get 3 free bases. So basically, if somebody tries to catch the ball with their hat or throw their glove at it, and you're running to first, you get to go to third, and everyone in front of you scores.
So the key about that, though, is the piece of equipment has to be not used in a way that it was intended. So like throwing your glove, taking your hat off because your hat is supposed to be on your head, so you're technically would not be used as it's supposed to. To me, like if you gotta like do what you gotta do, like, fuck. Like, if you can stop the ball, stop the ball.
For the penalty to count, the ball has to make contact with whatever piece of your uniform you're using.
Yeah, because there apparently have been major league players that have actually thrown their gloves at balls.
I've seen it. A guy will like jump for a line drive and like go like this, and their glove flies off and flies at the ball. And like, yeah.
I say if you can stop it, stop it. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like the amount of times that you're actually gonna stop it compared to the amount of times you're gonna whiff completely is probably astronomical. Like you're gonna probably actually stop the ball maybe 1 out of every couple hundred times you try. So go ahead, try. If you can stop it, cool. I don't care.
Yeah, it's one of those things that does not make any sense, but
you don't like it. Like, you don't like the idea of someone, like, throwing their glove at a ball to stop someone from getting a double or a triple or whatever.
Well, no, I definitely don't. That's stupid. You're not doing anything to actually be good at the game.
But but your accuracy has to be on point.
It's a ground ball down the baseline. You do not have to be accurate to throw your glove at the ball.
Well, yes, you do. That ball's moving 90 to 100 miles an hour, and you've got to meet it with a glove that you're throwing or a hat.
Not.
100% you got to have accuracy. You got to have timing. That's not an easy thing to do.
That sounds like a very easy thing for me to do.
Okay, next time I'm in Texas, because I've never been to Texas, but next time I'm in Texas, we're gonna go to like a little league field, and I'm gonna hit some just a toss up hand, a 60-mile-an-hour ball is coming off my bat because I'm weak as fuck, and we'll see if you can throw some gloves at it.
I bet you in the first 10 tries, I can stop the ball.
To where you could actually make a play.
Well, I mean, define make a. We're talking about stopping a double or triple.
Yeah. See, we even got a cameraman. Let's go.
Perfect. I'm not talking about like stopping the ball and throwing it the first to get you out. I'm talking about stopping you from progressing.
But see, at my point, like, what does it matter if, like, I don't know. To me,
you have to make a play with your body. You can't just throw shit in the way.
Yes, you can. In my opinion, you can, because it's not like you're going to do that every time.
That is dumb. No, absolutely not.
We'll see. Anyway. I'm telling you, this will be a standing challenge the next time I'm out to Texas, or next time you're out in California. I don't see you coming out this way anytime soon. There's nothing worth coming out here to look.
I loved San Francisco when I went there the one time.
Yeah, it's okay.
I wouldn't want to live there, but I had a lot of fun going to like Alcatraz and.
Oh yeah. Anyway, Alcatraz isn't bad.
Doing the tourist stuff was fun as hell.
But no, 100% we're gonna have to do this because I don't think you could. Maybe 1 out of 10. And honestly, if you're telling me 10% is enough to make an entire rule that gives people 3 bases,
10%'s a lot.
10% is not a lot.
If you impact the play 10% of the time when it shouldn't be, that is a lot. Anyway, I'm posting our YouTube link in the comments because if this ever happens, it'll be there. Go follow us on YouTube. Subscribe over there because if this ever happens, it will definitely be posted on YouTube.
All right, everybody. thank you for listening. If you're watching live on Bases and Brews, twitch.tv/Bases and Brews, no spaces, go check out our YouTube. I want to try and do some more stuff for YouTube, but for now it's just our podcast. Hopefully we'll get some more content on there for you guys. And check any episodes you might have missed. I upload all of our stuff. It's usually up by Monday, so a couple days after we do this live. If you're watching on YouTube or listening on Spotify and you want to kind of be a part of the conversation or talk to us after the podcast, come check us out at twitch.tv/Bases and Brews. It's where we record all of our episodes live. We do this every Friday. It's 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And on that note, I'll leave everybody to have a wonderful weekend, and we'll catch you all next week for another episode of Bases and Brews.
Later, everybody.